So the first time I heard about the Forex trading, I thought it was a scam. Yes, you heard me right. But here am I today. I'm hosting a Forex podcast and also I host major Forex events, not just in Nigeria. I host in Africa and across. I'm looking at going global. Yes. So this is the Profitable Podcast, the episode 4, guys. Please, can I just get a round of applause? Whoa. And I must give a big shout out to all of you. I mean, those subscribing, the comments I've been getting, interesting comments. And it's been so exciting and I love it. I love you guys for being so supportive. Yeah, and we're getting better every single day. So stick around, guys. Okay, so let's get straight to it. Today I have with me my namesake, guys. All right, his name is Daniel Dake. And he's a fresh guy. Fresh, confirmed guy with steez. You know what they say? They say compose your 100 and steez 100. Oh, money, money spender. Who said that Forex guys are not fresh? I don't know if he has a girlfriend. Maybe at the end of this podcast we know. So that probably if he has, I'm not going to allow any girl to come disturb. But if he's not, come on, we're going to do the hookup right here. All right, guys. So welcome to the Profitable Podcast. This is the episode 4. Is brought to you by Wildest Capital. If you are undercapitalized, make sure you go to the website. All right, just showing right there, or you just check. There is a link in the description channel right there. So do that and thank me later. What's up, my man?
What's good, man?
Daniel Dake.
Thank you for having me.
Whoa. So first, I feel happy because you're my namesake.
Well, I feel like it's coincidental.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
We bond well.
So fresh guy.
The energy.
Guy.
Thank you for having me, man.
Daniel Dake Junior. So, before now, I just asked if the junior was like, most of the times when you have an elderly, maybe you have your father, and he was very popular. Then the next thing, they'll add junior to your name, to still show that, okay, you're still your father's son.
No,
right?
mine wasn't that case.
Yours is
I think I've got that question all the time whenever my name is mentioned, Daniel Dake Jr., they're always asking, so where's senior?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm there never was, and I don't think, maybe, but I don't think.
You sound really good, actually. I mean, you sound
you.
like you
and
came from all the way.
I love your face as well.
Thanks, man. I feel I'm more Nigerian.
I am Nigerian, 100%. I'm really Nigerian. I'm not gonna lie.
You sound like you were brought up in...
I'm Nigerian. Okay, so let's switch back to Nigerian assets.
Okay.
Alpha, let's talk.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, day. Let's vibe.
I love that. So how are you feeling today, man?
I'm good. Super excited I've been a huge follower of the firm, and I love what's happening. I love the founder. I love the team.
Amazing.
So I think the first time I was contacted to, speak, which was on a space on Twitter, I really loved the conversation. It was open, and since then, I'm a fan.
Amazing.
I'm a fan. So
okay, that's good. So how do we start? While I was going through your Instagram, there's something that caught my interest. You're speaking the Spanish lingua. So I'm going to start there. And then I now saw that you went to Spain, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me your the Spain experience. Is it something that was powered by Forex? Is it Forex that funded your experience, or is something that maybe some money from some other place that just funded the experience?
Well, you see, for me personally, I've always been a full-time trader. By full-time, I mean, I don't have, external source of income from other things. Of course, I have other activities that are not trading related. But then coming back to your question, which is my trip to Spain, it's Forex. It is. It has always been. And for me, for the past 3 to 4 years now, it has always been Forex in terms of paying my staffs, maintenance, family expense, everything comes from Forex. Of course, there is the business of trading and there's the actual trading itself. And I'll take collabo.
This man a big man. I just paying my staff. Guys. So you have staff like this?
I don't have staffs. Don't make them think like I have one huge staffing system. I
No,
don't.
because I mean, like you said, like
I just had to
what's your
put it
staff
in.
strength?
No, the thing is, how many were we? I think we're about 4 or 5 because I don't own a prop firm. We're not doing too much. At the time we had a trading floor where we have traders come in and then they trade with us. But we had to stop it for some personal reasons and so we had to let some people go. But I only have like 4 main guys. These guys are like my ride or die. You know, those people that are vision carriers.
Yeah,
They go with you everywhere
yeah.
and yeah.
I love that. I love that. So back to your Spain experience here first. How, I mean, going down to Spain is something you always dreamt of, right?
I think it's just random. Now the thing with Spain is I'm not really a social media person.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. The thing is when I take pictures, I barely post them. The FME events,
Yeah.
I had lots of pictures with the influencers, but I don't think I ever posted. I don't know. I post because you know there are times where you need to attract brands and you need to just put yourself there so people can see something. I mean, it's wrong if you're an influencer and they come over to your profile and you
And
just
nothing.
have 0 post or 1 post. I understand the need for privacy, but so I started posting. The Spain thing was just more of a trip. I've always loved Spain. I'm a Barca fan, you know, so exactly. So I've always loved
I
Spain.
heard that. I heard that.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I've always loved Spain, and the bio you have there, I don't speak Spain, but the translation is building a happier world with love, and it's a slogan from my church.
Your church.
Yeah, so
you're a spiritual person.
I am. Life is spiritual.
I love
Even
it.
if you're not a Christian, I feel like life itself is spiritual.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask the church?
I'm a Christ Embassy member.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
From the hair, I can tell.
Just,
I
no,
can tell from
this
the
is
hair,
just
guys.
coincidental.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so let's get back to Forex, guys. Let's start like this. First, I'd like to know your story. Yeah, how you got into Forex, and just tell us about that.
Okay. I started trading. I'm really shy to say this, but I started trading since 2016. But I never became profitable till like 4 or 5 years inside. Now I heard about trading in my first year in the university, and then it was from, you know how the South Africans are quite popular. So there's this guy Sandeli Shezi, I think I remember his name, and then he was considered the youngest millionaire in South Africa, Forex millionaire in South Africa. And I was so curious when I saw the news. I'm like, how is this guy, I think almost my age, and he's this wealthy, the lifestyle is there, the Rolls Royce and everything. And so I started researching. I saw that, okay, he's a Forex trader. I said, what is Forex? So I started learning. So that was my first encounter. I was motivated by the person, right? The age. If this guy could do it now, I mean, I could. So I felt it was really easy. I'm not going to lie. Like the first instant, I felt like trading is the most easiest thing to do. If this young guy can do it, I'm smarter. I'm Nigerian. No offense.
Wait. I like that. You're Nigerian. So let's get down to the state and local government.
Okay. I don't know. I think only great man knows I'm Hausa. So yes, my parents are from Plateau State, but
Interesting.
I think I've been there like once or twice in my life. Yes.
Interesting. So do you think your background has any influence in your trading journey?
No, because my parents were against it. My dad wanted me to go for NDA. My dad is in the military, so he wanted to build a path for me that was, you know how parents are, a sustainable future. And he was having this idea that the military is a way to go, because after NDA, with his connection, I would probably come out with, you know, the star. So that was the initial conversation. So when I told them that I want to go like all into trading, a lot of them were against it. They were against it until 2 months ago. That was when my dad accepted the fact that I'm a trader. It took him that long.
Is it because you started being profitable?
No, because to him, okay, I think the thing is, my dad has always believed that trading is a time bomb. waiting to explode. So he felt like the success I'm getting were just trial and error. The trips I was going on was just, one day to crash. So I was talking to him some time ago, and he said he's really proud that, trading worked out. So coming back to the conversation, my parents were never part of my trading success. As a matter of fact, my year one, my first school fees in the university, I deposited it in my trading account. That was my first loss.
How much?
That when I was in Unical then, and so I think was it 37 or 38, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was 2 weeks to my exams, and I felt like I've learned a lot about trading and I'm good to go. So I deposited, not knowing, and this is crazy, not knowing that the whole thing was binary, not Forex. And a lot of people then, years ago, I mean, if you're coming into trading, there's a higher tendency that you could think you're learning trading like Forex, but you're either doing IML or you are trading binary. So I deposited and I was ready to go. In less than 2 minutes, I lost the school fees. Binaries are countdown. So it start counting from, let's say, 2 down. So I lost it. And that was my first PTSD experience. That was where I started having this realization that not all that glitters is gold. So that makes sense.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I mean, I'm trying to imagine myself, because I know a lot of our viewers, I mean, there are people that probably have put in their school fees, their house rent, their feeding money. It happened to me once, It's how you go into Forex, you put in your feeding money and you're like, okay, I want to double this money because I need to use this money to do something else. At the end of the day, you end up losing the money.
Of course.
And you must feed.
Obviously.
You must succeed. You must thrive. So how do you overcome that? How did you solve the school fees?
Okay, the school fees saga was crazy. I almost left school because I couldn't call my parents. I told you when I said to my mom, I think I want to start trading. She was like, your dad would never approve this, because my parents are big on status. So so the whole thing was just crazy. So I couldn't call them. I couldn't call my friends. I mean, school, everyone is preparing for exams. So that period, I've always known how to do designs, like graphics designs, and then it was booming because I had this affiliation where I know how to relate to people. So if I do a job for you now, I know how to build relationship that to the level where you recommend me to others. So I started, talking to the people I've done past jobs for, or do you have any birthday coming up? Do you have any urgent thing? If the cost for the designs was like 3,000 naira, I would bring it out to like 1,000 because, I have to pay school fees. Yeah. So I did that and I survived. I would say I survived barely. I'm not going to lie, barely, but I survived and I'm here today. And I must say that all the losses, that wasn't even my most emotional loss. My most emotional loss was, there was a time where I took a certain loss. I was rolling on the floor.
Whoa.
I was rolling on the floor. Then the white lady next door had to call the police, and they thought I had mental breakdown.
All right, we got to take it easy. Bro.
Yeah. So I'm just letting you know. Exactly.
So you're giving me, I feel like we're already ahead right now. When you said white lady, and does it mean that probably you left Nigeria?
Yes. I've always left. So there was a time where I left.
You were living out there?
Yes, I stayed for some time, but I'm always a regular. The thing with my life is, even before uni, I've always been traveling. Okay. My parents have always been sponsoring trips, so I've always been there. So, but then in the terms of, people always think because of the accent, you must have stayed there for a longer time. I think I started traveling like when I was small. So the exposure has always been there for me.
So in Nigeria, we say the Ajebo kids, right?
Not really. I had things terrible too.
I never traveled when I was a kid, bro. You traveled out of the country, bro. You know what that means?
Well.
Anyway, that's a good one. That's a good one because so you mentioned that you do what's it called, designs, right? So I've seen there's a company, the Mandy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're the CEO.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of the stuff that you've put out there, really organized and nice. So the experience you had, did it influence the organization of your company?
Yes. I think my brand perception now has always been because I've worked in, as a designer, and as well I've worked with a lot of companies, tech companies, and I understand the need for branding. Right? For me, branding is like my life. You don't see me at certain places. I speak pidgin, but you don't catch me unaware. You understand?
Yeah.
So these things are very important, especially if you are a young trader and you're trying to, scale to the next level. There is a stereotype that Africans cannot be trusted, right? And specifically if you're Nigerian. There are times where I tell people I'm Nigerian and you could see the countenance on their face drop.
Everybody,
There's this.
There's everybody thinks
Exactly.
there's this
Nigerian
stereotype. They think Nigerians
it's crazy.
Well, the funny, the flip side of it also is, I mean, it takes a smart person to be able to
Right.
outsmart someone who thinks he's smart.
Exactly. So brand perception, I've always said this to traders, right? You need to package yourself. There's a thing called faking it until you make it, right? Make people see you big. It's when you came in, I had a perception about you.
Yeah.
You're fresh, you're good. So I have to compose myself when I'm talking to you, right? If the reverse was the case, you walked in, you're probably wearing a short pants and you had tattered slippers, and then, the way I would relate would be different. And the same goes for you. If you walked in here and you met I'm Dake, of course I'm stressed. I haven't slept for like 2 weeks now. I've been having some crazy things. But all I'm saying is brand perception is important, even if you're struggling. When I was struggling as a trader, right, I had to maintain that public perception because outside trading, I own a foundation, right? I don't know if you saw my profile.
Yeah.
I've had lots of recognition from also the US Embassy as well. So I've always had this professional relationship. So I have that like a good brand, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's not just I don't want us to divert totally from Forex, because I know most of the people watching right now, they are interested in knowing you as a Forex specialist, the things you do, probably the things you were exposed to that helped you, right? So I want to talk about that, the role of education in Forex trading. So how did you get exposed to the proper education that helped you?
Sure, that's fine. For me, in terms of education, right, and I think I've been very vocal about this, you can't rush it. You really can't rush it. I tell traders, don't rush it. When I started from baby peeps, because years back it was baby peeps. If you're looking for good platform, so I started from baby peeps, and then if I'm not good with reading like text, I love audios. So if you were to recommend a book to me now, I would rather listen to the audio version because I'll get bored. I might sleep if I'm reading. So when I was studying in terms of education, I would take a class on baby peeps and then search the topic on YouTube. So I was doing this spontaneously, if that makes sense. So I was doing it all the time because I needed to gain proper information about this thing. That was after I lost my account, the first account. So at that time, I think a little bit of clarity stepped in. So at this time, I was very cautious. I said to myself, if I'm ever going to deposit again, if there's ever a chance for me to deposit again, I must get it right. So that was really important for me. So I started from baby pips. I learned a lot about trading from class 1 to class 2 to all the way to, I think, graduate level, and then videos as well. So education for me was very important. Of course, when you're done learning, you back test, right? After learning a system, after picking a strategy, you move on to back testing. And this is where you test everything about the system. So in terms of education, I started from baby pips, moved on to YouTube. Of course, I've had lots of mentors, those days, the likes of, let me not mention names, but those guys really shaped my trading. And it's nice to see that these people know me now, because amazing. Then I was seeing them from afar.
Looking up to them.
I mean, I was texting that Paul Wills, and it was crazy that we were having the conversation, and he said something that he's proud. So I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
I mean, so it's amazing to see how, a little wish, a little goal could grow over time to be something significant. And for me, it has always been my driving force. I tell people that a little decision you make now could cause a chain of reactions in lots of ways. The association you would have, the platforms you have. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't a trader.
I love what you said. I mean, the little things that you do. I don't know if you've read the book Atomic Habits.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. So people think that until you make a drastic maybe change, comes with you making a big drastic decision at a particular point. But you don't know that the little things that you do over a period of time, helps you. I mean, the trajectory of your life can just change all of a sudden by being able to maintain that. So back to the education part again. At what point do you think, because people go into trading, right? And I can learn a lot in 1 week. I can learn a lot in a month.
Yeah.
And I can back test, say, in 2 months.
Yeah.
So at what point do you think a trader is qualified to, step into the real life market? You leave the demo and you go into the real life market after learning things. Because now why I'm telling this is I had one experience like that, crazy experience. After going through, I trade myself, right?
Cool.
And sorry, I'm not taking away the shine from you right now. But
No,
the story,
please.
my own story is crazy because, I came in from the crypto world.
Okay.
And then so I always thought that crypto is more safe compared to Forex, that Forex is a scam. That's why I said, at the beginning that I thought that Forex is a scam. So I now got to understanding that there's the same support and same resistance, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, the first time I tried gold, my God, in less than how many minutes, money was gone.
Right.
And at that time, I was thinking, I know how to do this thing. I went in again, I studied, I came back, money gone again. So I now ask the question, I'm putting it to you now. At what point do you think somebody's qualified to, after learning, reading, going through mentorship, at what point do you think somebody's qualified to step into the live market?
Okay, thank you. I don't think there is like a timeline, permit me to say, because we are all different, right? People learn differently. There are those who started trading. I've met a lot of people, those who will tell you we started trading 2 months and I'm profitable. Some would say 1 year and I'm profitable. It took others 4 years to be profitable. I started trading in 2016, right? So it took me a longer time. So in terms of timeline, I think it's subjective to your drive. There are people that are obsessed about things, like they cannot sleep if they don't get this thing done. So those kind of people with such drive, they would reach success earlier because they have this sense of urgency. Now, circling back, at what point will a trader feel ready? I think you only feel ready when you have clarity, right? You see, trading is a game of numbers. In a game of numbers, you must have specificity. You don't assume. I always tell people that if you tell me you have 70% win rate, how did you know? That's the conversation. Because we deal with numbers. We can't assume. If I walk up to you and I tell you I'm the bank manager for XYZ bank, right? You would want to see proof. You want to see proof. So when you tell me you have 70% win rate, my question is, how did we come up to this conclusion? And often they begin to stutter. They begin to feel like, you understand? And it just lets you know that before you actually go live, you need to have clarity. And clarity comes from back testing, right? Why we back test is not because we are jobless. It's not because, as a matter of fact, I'm not going to lie to you, back testing is the most difficult thing to do as a trader. Forget education. When you get to practicing your system, it's boring, it's stressful, it's tiring. Every level of stress, you get it when you're back testing. So a lot of people run away from this. They touch the surface of back testing and then boom, they're live. Some would actually skip demo trading and then probably get a prop account or go live. So what I'm saying is this, right? If the time where you're certain that you're ready to trade live would be the level where you have data to prove everything, right? If you tell me you have 70% win rate, what was the basis for this conclusion? Was it on a weekly basis? Are you weighing your progress bi-weekly, bi-monthly, bi-quarterly, or yearly? We need to have these conversations because these little things, they pile up to actually hurt your trading account. So all I'm saying to traders is the time where you get ready is when you've done your homeworks. You're an investor, you're a business person. You must research, you must check things, you must understand how the industry works. You must test. I think that for those that are tech founders, there's a thing called the beta version of a product, right? You don't just launch a product and take it into the market. There's a thing called beta testing. It has to go through some close friends, right? This is what we do. When you learn a system, when you have a personal strategy, you back test. And when you're back testing, you're not just back testing for the win rate. Of course, that is important because we want to know if this system is a profitable one. Yeah. Why would I trade it if it's not profitable? So the first thing we want to check is it profitable? If it's not, I drop it. I move on to the next one. And that is why it's difficult because you could pick like 4 different systems. And then at the end of the day, you test one, maybe it gave you 30% win rate. And if you're not comfortable, you test another one. You pick from a mentor again, you test it. So you do this, and that is the first part of back testing. The second part, which also is important, is what I call pattern consistency. Now, you see, patterns repeat themselves. The sole foundation of market structure is actually built on patterns, history repeating itself, right? The falling edge or the break and retest, it's because you've seen it before. So now you're trusting the fact that if I've seen it before, I should see it again, right? So when you're back testing, there's a thing called pattern consistency. Does your system appear every day? Does the pattern appear every day? Is it twice a week? Is it once a week? Is it once a month? Now, if it's every day, the next question is, what time of the day? There are certain systems that perform better in the New York session. There are systems that perform better in the London session. So these things are that's why backtesting is very important because you gain clarity. You bring in specificity into what you're doing. And until you get to that level, I'm sorry, you're not ready to go live because this is your funds. Some people go as far as taking from others to trade for them. So before you get to this level, why not do your homework? Because these are the things you can control. You can't control the outcome of a trade. You can't control the market. So why not focus on the things you can control? So coming back to your question, there is never a time in terms of timeline to say, okay, 1 year and you should start trading live. I just feel the level where you become certain is when you have clarity. And clarity is a byproduct of backtesting, right? And backtesting goes beyond just the win rate. The patterns are important. You need to ask yourself, some systems don't work well for day trading. Some systems don't work well for scalping. Some systems are specially designed for swing trading. And here you are, you picked a system from a mentor on YouTube or probably your India community. Now, you're not so certain if this system was built for swing trading and you're a day trader, right? And those are the times where people start to call mentors out. Oh, I paid for your mentorship. You're not profitable. This. It's because trading is an experience game. Trading is like driving a car, right? You could have the best driver teach you how to drive. But if you don't sit on the driver's seat, you can never, right? And that's what trading is. If we don't sit and trade ourselves, we'd never. So a mentor could do so much from a second person perspective, right? But the main thing would come from you. So I think that's when you'll be ready.
Interesting. And I also want to add that, sometimes the real character of a person is brought out when you trade,
Yeah.
because you might think that you're a patient person, right? And you see markets beginning to move,
Yeah.
and you want to jump in. There's something, what do they call that thing again? The fear of missing out. FOMO, right?
Yeah.
So trading will bring out the real you.
Yeah.
If you're a patient person, if you're somebody that you just can't wait, you see a move and you want to jump in. And there are some people that just get very aggravated because, they miss out on something. What's your perception on that?
I think I really can relate to the idea that trading would bring out your real personality. I've always said it that, you see, if you're a naturally impatient person, it will reflect in trading. If you lack commitment, if you're the guy that can't maintain a relationship, right? And I've seen this, I'm saying this from experience, because if you're someone who can stay with one partner, right, you can't be committed to one partner, there's a tendency. Now I'm using the word tendency because nothing about the market is precise. So there's a tendency that these qualities would exhibit and reflect in your trading. And these are the times where you find that a certain trader can't stay true to one strategy, or probably you trade one system now, and because you are losing for a while, you jump it to another one. You trade today, you lose account, you drop to the next one, you keep moving. Those are lack of commitment. So often you need to reflect, right? Ask yourself, do I have any personality flaws, right? These things have to be fixed. I think when I started trading, I saw these things, and that's the reason why I can say them. And a lot of mentors also as well, from my conversation, I'm like, okay, this thing actually works. And in terms of FOMO happens to everyone, right? The thing is, we really can't take emotions out of trading. But what we can do is we can subject it, right? We can get to the level where we put it in its place. I could be sad, but I'll not allow it to influence my trading. I could want to jump on trade, have the urge to, not miss out on this trend, but I would not, because over time, I've come to understand that it's a 24 hours market. It's a 5 days period. It's runs for the year. So if I miss the setup today, trust me, patterns repeat themselves. So I would pick another trend tomorrow. So FOMO is a thing. You can't get rid of it. What you can do is you can put it under subjection, right? You can suppress it to the level where you are in control. And those things happen when you work on your personality.
Okay. All right. I want to take you back to something you mentioned about win rates. Right?
Yeah.
I know there's some apps perhaps that will just tell you. I've seen a guy probably doing back testing during the back testing. The system will just show him maybe you've done 70%, your win rate is 70, 80, and all that. So, what would you say is your win rate like?
My win rate is based on a monthly performance, because I have to say that first so people would understand. And on an average month, I close above profit. It fluctuates. There are months where I close 5%. There are months where I close 10, 4%, 2, 20, 30, 100, right? But my win rate is based off the monthly performance, right? And I can say since this year, I haven't had a month where I didn't get payout from prop firms. So I wouldn't tell you 100%. I would just like you to figure it out. But mind you, within the days of the month, I could have losing streaks. But I just know that at the end, I would still be floating. And that comes back to my choice of risk to reward, right? Because I've been able to model my system in a way that focuses on high risk to reward, right? So low risk, high reward. And that for me sits above 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Because with the 1 to 4 risk, 1 to 5 risk to reward, say we take 10 trades in a row and we lose 8 out of 10. To an average mind, we are terrible. If you were to post signals and you lose, take for example, I share signals to you and 10 out of 10 trades, you lost 8. What would you think about me?
You're terrible.
I'm terrible. Yeah. So that's the definition. So what I did was I put myself in the worst case scenario, right? I said, I may not catch the trend. I may not be, that good, But how do I stay sustainable and afloat in the days where my system is underperforming? And 1 to 5 does it for me, right? It takes a while, but it does it. So what it does for me is 1 to 5 in a series of 10 trades, I could lose 8 and win 2. Now, if I was risking, let's say, $1,000 on every trade, right? At the end of 8, I'll lose $8,000, right?
Yeah.
But for the 2 trades, they would give me $5,000 each. That's $10,000. Remove 8,000, I have 2,000. Of course, we remove commission, swaps, and everything. 1.5 plus, right? So I'm still floating.
Yeah.
And that for me is good. So which means if I want to be in super abundance, I just need 30% win rate. So that has been my way of modeling the win rate.
Okay, so you made mention of prop firms. Yeah. So right now you trade more of prop firms?
Yeah. I focus on, I have personal funds, but prop firms are easy money for me.
Okay.
It's easy money. So
you feel like it's more secure.
It's more secure.
So you are not just risking your funds alone. It's
Exactly.
more, like they call it proprietary.
Yeah.
You and the company, you both share the risk.
Exactly. So at this point, after your first withdrawal, right, you are good. You've covered the cost, right? And when you have covered your cost, there's a thing called risk-free. So for me, I love the fact that if I'm trading prop accounts, I've made my first withdrawal. Now I'm sitting in a position where if the account goes, it goes. But of course, prop firms are difficult. I'm not here to tell you guys that it's easy. It's easy with experience. You are good at talking because you've done it over time. I'm good at trading prop firms because I've done it over time.
So have you been through, have you had this experience where you trade a prop firm?
Yeah.
Like you rightly said, after withdrawing the first time, have you had to hold a particular account for a long time? Say trading up to 3 months, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah. I have a prop account with a certain firm, which I would not mention. And I think since January, I've had that account and it's still running till now. I have never missed a payout to them. And of course, there's a thing called building portfolios, right? As you get one, you add more props. And I think that's the reason why I'm really like nonchalant with accounts. For example, if I'm in my evaluation stage, my team, they know, we just go in because there is something to fall back on. But I'm not saying this to the guy who is probably spending his last $100 on an account. You have to go slow. The thing most traders don't understand is you don't have time limits, right? You do not have time limits. So take your time. Take your time to the level where you could use 2 months to pass phase 1. Use another 2 months to pass phase 2. And if that could work for you, take it. You don't need to pass it in 2 minutes, in 1 hour, in 1 day, in 2 days, right? Leave what you see on the internet. Focus on what you can pass for the longest. So yeah, and prop firms are amazing. They are.
Okay, interesting. So I want to also know your perspective, understand your perspective regarding this. When I see people say converting $1,000 or $10 to $10,000, $1,000 to $100,000. I mean, are these things real? Because I see people doing this thing and they'll just post and I'll come back and be like, are they trading the same market that we are trading?
Yeah. Well, flipping accounts. Okay, so the thing is, right, it could be, I can't say, but what I'm saying is things come with experience, right? Things come with experience. And we live in a world of endless possibilities. The thing that could be almost impossible to me could be seamless to you, right? And that's just how life is. Some of us build our life around aggressive risks, right? People can, take $100 and go all in, and then boom, the market goes in their direction and boom, they flip it. But the thing I tell traders is, if you're starting, you can't be like these people. These guys have reserves. They are flipping from abundance, if that makes sense. And when you're flipping from abundance, there is zero emotions. You know how you could just pick $100 and be like, let me just, and then you just, and then it just,
And everything
and then everything just, exactly. So it's just, exactly. So flipping accounts, yes, there are lots of, fake guys on the internet, of course. The same goes for the guys who post sophisticated charts and go for high risk to reward. So there would always be fake. But one thing I've always believed is when you see fake, there is authentic, right?
Sure.
So you would never find the fake of something that never existed. So there are actual traders that are flipping. I'm not going to lie. I've seen these people. I've seen their results, right? But at the same time, it's not how you think it's being done. That's what most people don't get. Most people flip. Let's not have the conversation. Thank you. So I think that answers it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am also curious to know your risk appetite. Would you consider yourself an aggressive trader or a reserve type?
Reserve, conservative.
Conservative.
Yes. So I'm conservative because to me, I want to live to fight another day, right? I'm not those people. Of course, now I can pick $100, pick $200 or $500, just throw it in and then see how it goes, right? But there was a time where those funds meant a lot to me, right? So all I'm saying is I've built my life around being cautious. So if I'm trading, I go minimal, then I stack. I scale up. So if I'm taking an entry on gold at a certain level, and then my first position goes in, then if it pulls in my direction, creates the next retest point, I top again. Then I always trail stop loss to protect my risk. But of course, I tell people online, fixed risk to reward, this. I do it as well.
You said trail your stop loss, right?
Yes.
Because it can be crazy after putting,
Of course.
you mentioned
Definitely.
gold can be crazy, can do numbers of pips
Definitely.
in a split second.
Yeah.
Right? So just clear liquidity, it could be, I'm not even going there.
Yeah, of course. I can.
All right. So I want us to talk about I know you work around young people, right? I see that you have a lot of young people working with you. What's that experience been like working with them?
I think it's working with young people is amazing. I won't lie to you. Now, of course, I've worked with different levels of people, older people on different projects, but I love younger people because the zeal and the passion is there. These people are interested in the long term. They don't have, oh, I'm getting old, I need to make it now. No, these people have time, quote unquote, right? So the idea of working with younger people for me has been amazing. I'm not gonna lie. These people could come at the middle of the night. Like I have my team member here. I could call him by 2 a.m. that, bro, I need this thing to be done. I need a website. He would literally give me a template by 6 a.m. And I'm not joking. I'm not even saying it because he's here. I can tell you for a fact that not just him. I have a female graphic designer. I could call her by any time. She's in school. She would source out for a co-working space. She would make sure she gets it done. And to the most part, I'm not even paying these people to the level of strength they are given, right? And that's the thing. I love working with young people because I'm young as well. And we understand that there's a thing called the seeding days, right? We are seeding for an harvest, if that makes sense. So young people understand that we can sow the seeds now and then later on would reap it. The guys I have today, these are people that have gone way back. There were days where $10 was a lot to us, to our trading account. But today the flex is there. So it just lets you know that young people are much more easier. Of course, you meet the wrong ones in every category, but I love working with young people.
So interesting.
You know, there are times where $100 is very big. There's a time where $10 is the net worth I have. You understand? So I couldn't place it in terms of numbers, but I could place it in terms of my current state. And as at then, it was my net worth. And I lost it and I couldn't just hold it. I couldn't hold it in. I had to scream, had to let it out. So that was I wouldn't call it one of my lowest points. And of course, I am stubborn. I funded again. I went back again, kept funding, and here we are today. You lose some, you win some. You know, when you are starting out as a trader, you're going to lose accounts, except if you have a very good mentor, which you guys really need a mentor, right? But if you don't have a mentor like me, when I started, there were lots of academies that were doing bring 1 to bring 2, bring 4 to bring 10.
Right.
So it was confusing. You really can't tell if you're here for Forex or you're here for chain market. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. So I had to do it myself. I was watching other mentors from afar, you know, watch their YouTube videos, learn from them. So I've had lots of lowest points. And my aha moment was it 2020 or 2019? That was my aha moment, and that was what changed everything for me. And in terms of biggest payouts, I've had lots of payouts. Like I said, right, most of my phones go to, people don't know this, but most of my phones go to my NGO, because what I do is not, we don't run an outreach, right? It's not an outreach that you just help them once and go. No, for some people, it's like you're adopting these kids. You can't just leave. These people would go on to the university. They would need extra help. So most of my funds go there. I've always said this. And in terms of biggest payout, I've had lots of payouts. I've had lots and lots and lots of payouts that I really can't keep track. I think yesterday I have one, and I'm expecting one on Monday.
Give us a figure. I just want to have an idea of the biggest
let's
cash out
say
you've had.
10, let's say 5 figures in dollars. Should we work with 5 figures in dollars?
Wow.
Yes.
Like 5 zeros.
Like 1, 2, 2, 3. Yes, 5 figures in dollars.
Whoa.
Not 6, 5. You know, $1,000 is 4 figures. So from 10,000 and above goes 5 figures. So let's just say 5 figures in dollars.
All right.
Yes.
So if somebody wants to calculate your net worth right now, we're looking at approximately 150, 200 million, 500
So I have a net worth.
billion.
I withdraw on the go. So I withdraw on the go, if that makes sense.
Have you ever sat down to, want to know what your net worth is?
I haven't. I'm a trader. It gets to the level where if I'm at a store, like, okay, there was this time I wanted to fix my car, and the guy was very hesitant to tell me the price. He was like, boss, I don't know how you handle it. Oh, it's very huge. And I said, tell me. He said it, and I'm like, $40. That's small. So you understand, that's the flex of trading.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It started becoming a reality. There are times where you are on a trip, and God bless the Naira rates. Yeah. It's helping us. I'm sorry, but I had to just say it because it's helping. Now you could take a girl on a date with roughly $200, just $200, and that's about 200 and something thousand naira, and she could she could eat as much as she wants, and in her own stead, it's a big date. To you, it's just one small withdrawal, right? Exactly. So I'm not trying to flex on it, but it just
having the dollar mindset. Sorry to cut you, I mean, having the dollar mindset it makes a lot of sense. It makes sense. By the time you convert to Naira,
exactly, some
big stuff.
Yeah,
nice, interesting. Okay, at this point, I think we're just going to go on a short break. You're still watching the Profitable Podcast brought to you by Wildest Capital. My name is Danny P. Esu. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, guys. Once again, this is the Profitable Podcast. I want to give a big shout out to all those subscribing, those dropping comments, and those sharing this podcast to their loved ones. You're doing a good job, and you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. My name is Danny P, and I have with me right here my namesake. You know, we've been having amazing, very, very interesting and amazing conversation so far, and we're digging deep into knowing more about this man I have here, Dake Jr. You know, I was thinking your name is, I thought it was Daniel Drake at a point. I was like,
yeah, I've had that.
Is this guy related to Drake or something?
I've had that. People call it Drake all the time.
Daniel Drake. That would be nice. DD.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So back to the trading thing we've been talking about, the Forex trading. Yeah. Now, do you think that Forex trading is addictive? And is it something that one has to work on? Because sometimes people spend a lot of screen time looking at the screen, trying to follow every move. Do you think it's addictive?
Yes, trading is addictive because you are depending on it to pay bills, right? Everything is addictive depending on the level of importance you play or you place on them. Music could be addictive if you're a musician, right? So it's like everything could be, and trading is not an exception. So all I'm saying is it's normal for a trader to be addictive. I think it's even good because it keeps you on your A game. And at this point, you are really trying to, get to the next level. You're trying to read all the courses you can find, follow all the mentors as well. So to me, addiction is fine. But the problem with addiction is you need to find a balance, right?
Sure.
You need to come into the level where the obsession about trading doesn't make you lose focus. Some people move from intentions to fun. Now you're trading for the fun of trading. You are not trading for survival. You just want to open trades. You just want to be on your chart. You just want to do things. So all I'm saying is at some point in time, we must learn how to, people call it work-life balance, but I don't believe in work-life balance. But again, let's just use that for context. So I think we must come to that level where we have a trading life balance, right? Trading becomes addictive where it isolates you from your peers, isolates you from everyone. And I think when you are being isolated, that's when you need to know that something is wrong, because yes, it's a lonely ride. People tell you, isolation is good, this, but at the same time, because of the stress capacity of what we do, we need people around. We need time where we say, time out, go do something else, right? I need to go do something else. And these things have to be conscious. If you don't make it conscious, you would never find time. There are times where I would just call my friend and I'm like, let's go to the beach. Let's go somewhere. Because if I sit one more time, I'll open TradingView. You understand? So you need to force the trading life balance. It has to. If not, it won't come. And you would think, I used to think that, okay, because I'm learning, I would get to the level where I would be profitable and then I would spend lesser time, right? But trust me, you get to that level and at this time, you are out of date, out of trends. You don't even know the happening places in your city anymore because you've been indoor for the most part of your life. You don't know where are the new parties. There was this time I went to a certain cinema. I was hoping to go see a movie there. I got there and they said the cinema have packed out like months ago.
Whoa.
And I'm like, am I in this city? So the thing just happens. And what I'm saying in essence is, if you are a trader, addiction is fine. Addiction would bet obsession, and obsession is good. If you want to be extraordinary, you must go beyond the extra. Extra people work 9 to 5. They commit 9 to 5 to their craft. If you're trading, let's just use this. The normal people, the ordinary, they do 9 to 5. They do 9 to 5 on their charts, but the extraordinary would go 24 hours on their charts, right? Because at the beginning stage, there's a thing called, with experience comes perfection, right? So what you need to do is at the beginning stage, be obsessed, be addicted, right? But it gets to a level where you must find the balance. You must understand that isolation could be good, at the same time could hurt you. So it's like a two-edged swords, right? They could help you. They could also as well hurt you as a person. So addiction, I'm addicted to trading. That's the reason why I don't see myself doing anything else aside trading, right? So.
Okay, but in this context, how do you help someone who constantly is losing, right? You're addicted to trading so very much, and constantly you're trading and you keep losing. In fact, your losing streak might just happen for the whole month.
Yeah.
Right. So what can you tell a struggling trader out there? What psychology, what mindset should they have that would help them so that you don't end up hurting your mental space.
Mm.
Do you get?
Yeah.
Because there's how you work it. It can affect, trading is something that can affect
course.
the whole being.
Of course.
Right? So what do you have to tell the person watching us right now so that when they get into that space where they're trading and they find themselves in this kind of situation, they know how to manage it?
Of course. Now, my personal advice would always be take a knee, right? Take a step back. And the reason why you need to take a step back is, you see, if you're in the party, you would not see the things wrong until you step out of the party, right? And it works as well. Though you see how people that are, we can always give analysis when we're watching football.
Yeah.
We can say, oh, you didn't cover this wing because we are outside. So all I'm saying is, if it gets to the level where you're losing back to back, you're not getting the wins you want, you're not seeing the results you want, the best thing you must do for yourself is take a knee, right? Rest a bit. Rest, they say, is it perspire to aspire? Make sure you take some time, right? Because this is very important. You need to refresh. And while you're resting, right, try not to see trading. Don't even look at your charts, right? And when you're coming back, come with ×2 obsession. But this time, your priority should be on clarity, right? You should come with the idea that you want to get it right now. So there's a thing called the unlearning to relearn, right? If I've had those times where I'll say to myself that, okay, I've been losing account. I'll take a break, then I'll come back. Now, when I'm coming back with X2 force, right? And at this point, I'm saying to myself, I need clarity now. So I'll pick a system. I would sit for hours. Like there was a time where I did a no sleep challenge. Like it was really crazy. It was a 1 week no sleep challenge. And I don't think people understand the behind the scene. People see the glows, they see the lifestyle, they see the trips, and they're like, oh, I want to be like you one day. You can't marry the outcome and leave the process. Right? These things, they work together. The outcome you see now is a byproduct of the process. There are times where I go sleepless nights. I don't even eat. Right? I don't eat because I can't afford. If I eat that money now, I would not have money to deposit. Then we didn't have prop firms, right? So all I'm saying is, if you're at that level where you're having losing streaks, take some time, rest. It's okay to rest. You're not a bad person, right? So take some time to rest. But if you're coming back, make sure you come with ×2 the force. And when you do, make sure you aim for clarity. By clarity, I mean back test. Go back to your drawing board, ask questions, be real with yourself. There are people that would rather blame the whole world and even blame their village people.
But themselves.
They will tell you, oh, the market is manipulated. There is they're hunting my stop loss. The banks are trying to get me. Bro, you have $10. You have $5. Who cares? They don't even know in the scheme of things. You don't exist for the leadless. You don't. So you don't need to blame others. Just own up to your mistakes. And that is really where change begins to take place. Accountability is the first stage to growing, right? You have to be accountable. You need to say to yourself, I am the problem. I am wrong. I am rushing trades. I am jumping into things I shouldn't. I'm over risking. I should relax. So if you start having these sessions where you are accountable, those are the time you begin to grow. So coming back to the question, if you are in a losing streak, if you're experiencing depressive stage, right? Take some time. Breathe for a while. You need these things, right? Go do something else. Have fun. And when you've done this, come back refreshed. But when you come back, you see, be extra obsessed. Now, your obsession should aim towards wanting clarity. Be defined. When you have a system, I've always said this to traders, that there's a difference between a trading system and a trading concept, right? People think, if I ask some people, hypothetically speaking. Now, if I tell them, okay, so what do you trade? Oh, I'm a break and retest trader. You can't be a break and retest trader because that itself is not specific. So the question would now be, are you a breakout retest trader of support and resistance? Are you a breakout retest trader of trend line? Are you a breakout retest trader of moving average? You know, a lot of things are breaking and retesting, right? So specificity need to come into your trading. So after a losing streak, come back, evaluate yourself and aim for clarity. But this time, ask questions, right? Be defined. Come to the level where you could explain your system to the next guy with so much accuracy. And always remember, less is more, right? The more complex a system, the harder it is for you to follow the rules. You want a system where you can go, if A is B and B is C, I take the trade. You don't want a system where if a fair value gap is breaking and if this is this and the inducement is that and this, how would you remember these things? Don't you get? We want to be in a situation whereby we just come, if this does this and this does this, I take the trade. We don't want to be, if inducement is and the sellers this and that, this and this. I'm not telling you smart money don't work. I have a system around it. But the thing is, most traders try to trade everything in smart money. And that's not how it's done, right? Pick your poison, pick your products. And when you do, just stay with your own product. Everybody's having it rough. So don't think because I'm only posting my wins, that's how it is. No, I'm taking losses. So you stay with your own loss. So enjoy your wins and take your loss. Thank you.
That's some reality talk right there. You know, somebody once said that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right?
Yeah.
So if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, there's a name for that. You know, but I ain't gonna say it right here. But I'm telling you as a trader right there, when you take a trade, right, and you're going through losing streak, I mean, you've heard what he said, just take a step back and perhaps just do something else. You know, I've had this experience as well. In fact, I had a losing streak at a point and I questioned myself, am I good at all? You know, I used to know this, I know this and I know that. It has a way of affecting you. I had to leave the market for a while. And when I came back, things changed, you know, and I was seeing things differently and it felt really good. All right, so back to you now. I want us to talk about your income diversification. You've made a lot of money from Forex, right? What are the other things that you do? Where is your money? You've mentioned about something about a foundation, right? Yeah. So what are the other things you do? I'd like to know. Just tell us about that.
Sure, that's fine. In terms of diversification, I have properties, right? And I mean, in Nigeria, everybody wants to sell a land to you. People want to buy this, invest here. So I'm really more interested in sustainable investments. I've always said to myself that my kids would live the best life, and best life by they would experience everything good. So the investment I'm making now is really not for me. So diversification, I have properties, I have lands, and I currently have a startup we're working on, and we've had other startups as well. But I currently have this one because for me, this one would launch me out of the trading industry. So I wouldn't maybe be known as a trader alone. And this is something that I've always wanted to do. So it's hectic. We've been working behind the scene and it's going to be big. So that's it for the other things I'm doing. But majorly, my funds come and then I put them into businesses. You know, you invest in this business and that business.
Do you want to
but
talk about
I don't run business because I feel like I always fail. I don't know. I've had lots of startups that we wanted to run and we eventually didn't get to it. So right now my portfolio is being diversified into production. Right. I have always had interest in production. Like currently we are working towards securing a particular field in the northern part. We've started doing this and to start a rice, production, farming and everything. And we also went into fishery as well. I think that one has been running for some time now and we supply to other states. And these things, I don't do them myself because I know myself, they are not my thing. I think it just comes down to every individual, right? You need to ask yourself, where's your strong suit, right? There are things that are not yours. For example, if I'm not good with marketing, I should outsource it to someone else. And for me, that's just how it is. And most of my investment are in the northern parts of Nigeria because for me, it's cost efficient. It's very affordable to run things and then maybe export it to other part of the country. So I've been in that as well. And just recently, I just decided, okay, I've worked in the tech space for a longer time. So I think it's time for me to, own my own tech something, if that makes sense. But I've always been in production. Production is very profitable because, I mean, in and out of seasons, you're making money. As long as you have the supply chain, you have the end receiver, maybe in wholesale or retail, there would always be a need. And for me, it has been the most profitable business statistically for decades. Production and manufacturing has always been way successful than services, right? And for me, I just felt like, okay, services, production, yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, obviously, you're a young person doing so well, which is an inspiration to a lot of other young guys hoping to venture into Forex trading.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You've mentioned something about, these other businesses helping you maybe a way out.
Yeah.
Right. So where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years? Do you see yourself to be that trader that will still be there trading 5, 10 years, 20 years to come? Or you see yourself after a while, you just hang your boots and go into something else fully?
Okay. In terms of the next 5, 10 years, I think 5 years is a bit close, but projecting 10 years, I don't see myself in the trading space. That's the reason why I actually had to stop some certain things. Like I don't do mentorships or those things anymore because I'm trying to project out of it. And because to be very honest, people think I'm really known in the trading space, but I'm not. I'm known in, this the social space in terms of sustainable development goals, the United Nations for this. So I've always been that guy, and I just want to stay there. I envision myself. Of course, Forbes is not just the least I want to see myself, but I want to be known as an inventor, a business person, someone who will probably change life through his products. So I'm seeing myself going big into manufacturing. Maybe one day you might be drinking my drinks, eating my products. So I see myself going there. So right now, all the projection, the way I live my life, you would barely see me trying to do some lifestyles online because these things, the internet never forgets.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to be as professional. I'm trying, I guess. So 5 years from now, I would be diversifying into something else, but trading will still be there. I plan to own, a trading floor that would have people trading my funds, not prop firms, which means they are working for me and giving me my money. So it's like a mine, right? So while I'm doing other things, I need to have someone mining my money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Okay, so the last thing we're just going to talk about right now is your assets. Traders just like to show off. You have mentioned that you're, should I say, reserved or conservative. You don't like to, make so much noise on the social space. And do you think that people who make the noise, I mean, with the big, stuff, do you think they're doing something? Let me not say wrong, but do you think it's a bit out of bigger than what they? Well, let me rephrase that. So, do you think that getting to project most of these things, it's a bit out of conception?
No, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, if I never saw Sandeli's videos and his lifestyle, I'll never become a trader, right? So I think everyone have a role. Everything serves a purpose, right? If the signboard might be useless until you're trying to locate the street, right? So that's just how I see things. The lifestyle traders are good. they help people stay motivated. They help you see the future, and they tell you that, okay, if you eventually become a success, right, you will see these things. So lifestyles are good. They're not bad. But for me, like I said, right, I am projecting towards being the Dangotes of our world someday, and these things, I don't want what I put out today to someday haunt me. Oh, you were flaunting this, you were doing that on the internet. And from my family, it's no, right? It's no. That's the reason why there are times where I want to put something out, but I'm scared how it will reflect. So it's no. But lifestyle is good. I'm motivated when I see traders to do the lifestyle thing. I really wish I can. The thing is, I have the resources, I have the things, but sometimes I talk to my team and I'm like, maybe we should get a videographer that goes with us everywhere. How do these people do it? Right. But I'm shy. The other day, myself and my friend went out. We had escorts with us. But to even hold the camera and snap picture, I am really that shy. So I don't know how to do it. I want to learn.
Okay.
Yes.
I tell you, maybe I would have said, let me mention names of people, but it's okay. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah.
All right. So, so far so good. We have had a very, very interesting conversation, and we are coming to the end of this podcast. But before you leave, I wanted to talk to newbies, the greenhorns, people just venturing into the trading space, people who want to make trading their source of livelihood. What do you have to tell them?
Well, the first thing is get serious, right? It's very important. You see, trading is hard, but it gets better over time. And just like everyone else, we all had our day one. We all had time where it felt like we're never going to be profitable. We had those days. The things you're experiencing now, a lot of us was actually in those levels. And how you feel right now was how we felt. So all I'm saying to you today is this. You need to understand that everything significant takes time. So allow yourself to grow into the life you want to see. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Forgive your mistakes. Forgive your flaws. Correct them, of course. But make sure you give yourself grace. Be calm. The professionals you see today, they all had day one. So all I'm saying is keep doing you. Keep being awesome. And never quit. If you quit now, you explain tire.
Okay, so at this point in time, I'd like to see your eyes. I want the people to see my eyes too. I'm taking out this, my glasses. So let's all see your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
But it's crazy that we're taking out off our glasses after
right
episode, right?
Right.
Yo guys, thanks so very much. I really, really had a good time with Daniel Dake Jr. And make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure also that you click on the notification bell. And every time we put out content like this, you'll be the first to be notified, okay? Thank you guys. I remain your humble host, Danny P, the FX host. Catch you next time, man.